Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, took me on the road again. I have to make this statement. Many of you think, Erica, you're not talking about racism and injustice and people treating you wrong and banks discriminating you for loans and all these things that are quite important. I don't ever want you to watch this channel and think that I don't believe racism exists and that banks are discriminating you. I feel personally I've been discriminated against. I've actually seen discrimination happen at workplaces when I worked in apartment leasing, and I felt like, man, who do I call? Now, of course, I had numbers I could call and people I could call, but at the end of the day, it would probably cost me my job. Lots of things happened to play into me realizing that there is discrimination in America. And if Ben Shapiro ever brings me on his show, I'll give him lots of documentation of such. But to be really honest, my problem with a lot of people is they don't find ways around it. They don't find ways around it. They don't say, you know, let me think of ways to free myself. Let me think of ways to invest my money other ways so that I can be free, that I can bank on myself. There's a reason why that book is so important and so popular, is because people like the idea of banking on themselves. So they get into these, what do you call them? Term insurance, whole life insurance, all these different things, which at the end of the day do work, but it's almost like having a credit card on yourself, if you want to be honest. And I want you to be free outside of that. I want you to be able to have stocks and bonds and invest in these investment groups so that you can start owning pieces of the pie. Because I rather own 1/3 of a house, 10 houses, than have just enough money to buy one whole house, right? Cash. And many people say, well, that doesn't make sense, Erica. But it does, because by the time my balance sheet, you look at my balance sheet, it looks like I'm 1/3 owner of 10 properties. And I'm in a better position to fight for loans, to fight for lending, to fight for funds. Same thing happened when I went to the bank and I had 100, at the time, 100 lending club notes. And you can see the guy's eyes just like, what? Like, where'd you get all these notes from? Because I had to actually print out the sheet. I had to go into my lending club account, and you can actually do it in your reports, where you kind of print out all your active notes, or you can say your active loans, because I, in that moment, is the bank. I'm the bank. A lending club, I'm lending you money, so I am the bank. So I had those notes available and printed out and put in my packet as additional paperwork. And when I saw his eyes, and how many monthly dividend stocks I had, how many notes I had, it was an amazing feeling. It was a feeling of, this person knows, whether he tells me yes or no on this loan, that I'm already ahead of the curve. I'm ahead of the crowd. I'm ahead of the curve. I'm ahead of all kind of people. And I think what happens is so many people get caught up on one no. They say, oh my God, they told me no, Erica. They said no. They wouldn't give me the loan. I'm so upset. Like, I don't understand. And what I try to tell people is, expect no. Like, I have an app from Grant Cardone called Close the Sale. And I love this app. I really do. And because it tells you all the different types of things people will say to kind of give you a no. A roundabout way of them saying no. And so what I do is, I just review it every once in a while and practice on being a better saleswoman. But what I want you to do is practice becoming the bank. Now, attached to this video at the top, you'll see in the iCards is video how to become the bank 1, how to become the bank 2, the wealthy don't use banks part 1, and the wealthy don't use banks part 2. I'm going to probably put them in a playlist called, I don't know, the wealthy don't use banks, or no, we're going to call that playlist Bank on Yourself. I literally just decided as I'm driving. We're going to call that playlist Bank on Yourself. And so all the videos I'm talking about will be in that playlist, Bank on Yourself. Now, why is that important? Because I want you to see that it doesn't matter what one bank says. You've created streams of income for yourself. Because if you do this for a year, if you put $100 away a week for a year, you're not looking for that tax refund check to save you. You are not looking for, a windfall of money or the lottery to save you. You have money put in places that are gaining interest that you can tap in and cash if needed. I tell you guys this all the time on the channel. There are many times where I have invested in one stock all year long, and I might need that money. So I can cash that money out and put it in a tax lien, or I can cash that money out and use it for a car down payment, or I can cash out and take that money and do lots of other things with it. That's the power of becoming a bank and banking on yourself. Now, another component to bank on yourself is increasing your income. Many times I tell you on the channel, look, you just gotta get the income up. Even if many of you will be like, well, I have all my bills covered, Erica. I'm like skirting by the grit of my teeth. I can't squeeze off $25 or $100 a week to do this. I would encourage you to spend one Saturday door dashing, or spend one Saturday selling old junk out of your house, spending one Saturday creating $100, and you take that $100 and you put it into some investments. Now, what do I mean by some investments? I mean lending club notes. Lending club notes, monthly dividend stocks, investment groups. I'm in the Todd Capital group. I'm investing there. But I want you to be able, at the end of the year, because even Todd Capital talks about this, a lot of people invest a ton of money all year long, and then they just like, well, I just need to cash out. And they cash out. That happens often. It happens with stocks, that happens with bonds, that happens with groups. But that's the key. If you buy in, if a group anywhere is buying a house a month, and you can get a significant share, get into that group and get your share. Because when you go to the bank at the end of the year and I'm part owner of 12 homes or 10 homes, you are in a league of your own. You just are. And to give you a point, in America, the average American has, one or two homes in the course of their lifetime. So as you become a boomer, something happens in between, right? But the top 1% in America has 3 homes. Now that means you got that regular home, that vacation home, and that rental. That's not many people. When you talk about over 5 homes, that's not many people. That's a whole nother level of people. I know young men right now in Austin who have 2 rentals, and when he gets in between jobs, because he's deciding to change what he wants to do. I can't remember. He went from selling cars to selling something else, but I think selling insurance. But he's never stressed. He's never stressed because he has 2 rentals and he has a home he lives in. He keeps his expenses low. His car and his truck are paid off. This guy is one of the most chill guys I've ever met. He doesn't have that stress because just those 2 homes put him in a league above others. So I know many of you are going, well, Eric, I can't afford 2 rentals right now. That's why I recommend investment groups. That's why I recommend Todd Capital. That's why I'm recommending these things to you, because I know it's very tough to accumulate wealth. It's tough. It's tough to eke out $5,000 a year. But I make it a game with myself that I put away money. Even if it's just $25 a week, even if it's just $100 here or there, I do it because I know at the end of the year, if something happens or there's a great opportunity, if need be, I can liquidate. And that's the difference in America right now. So many people have the opportunity outside of credit cards. That's what I'm trying to get you to see. Outside of having a credit card, there are many families who, one of my aunts even had like $250,000 in a retirement account once, and she wanted to liquidate it to buy her dream home, and buy this other investment. People do that all the time, but it comes from them actually investing the money over time. So look, don't get discouraged. At least give yourself a year and be putting this money away. Bank on yourself. Bank on yourself, people. It starts with you. Don't worry about the credit cards. Don't worry about the business credit loans. Many of you are saying, Erica, I'm not getting approved yet. What more do I have to do to my credit? Honestly, you have to focus on growing your income and growing your business's income. So, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, if you want to speak to me, definitely hit the consult links below. If you want credit repair or you want to purchase any of my books that go better in depth on this information that you can get for yourself, the links are always below. You guys, thanks for traveling with me on the road today. I hope you've enjoyed cloudy Texas today. Quite cloudy, but beautiful skies. Later, you guys.